Hello, this is Jake from AuditTrails and welcome back to this episode of AuditTrails. Today we're going to be discussing NIST 853 control, AC5. This control is all about separation of duties. So let's jump into it. The description of this control reads, the organization separates organizational defined duties of individuals, documents separation of duties of individuals, and defines information system access authorizations to support separation of duties. So what does that mean specifically? We're really looking for specific roles and job responsibilities to be separated so that more than one person is required to complete a task. More specifically, a task that would greatly impact the environment if one person had control over it from end to end. So for instance, possibly provisioning accounts, more specifically admin accounts, or dealing with financial transactions. So the same person that is cutting your check is not the same person that is also signing the check, that kind of mentality. So when we're doing an audit on this control, what are some things that we'd be looking for? So like I said, the first thing that we're looking for is those defined duties of individuals. So we want to look at that in a couple of different ways. One of the biggest and most important, and as you can see I have it listed on the bottom here, is role-based access controls. So they can be broken down by job, they can be broken down by role within the organization. A lot of the times this information is often documented in a role-based access control matrix, especially in larger organizations. And later in the presentation we'll go over one of those as an example. So we're also looking for consistency across your environment. So once these roles are in place and they're defined, we want to make sure that the same exact roles are carried out throughout the environment. So that means all of the tools, and typically that is done through an identity and access management solution. So that should control the authentication and, more importantly, the authorization throughout your environment. So to successfully implement separation of duties within your information system, there are several things that you need to consider. So you need to consider that process for provisioning authorization rights. So like I said, that's typically carried out through an identity and access management solution. You'll also need to consider authentication. So how are people authenticating? Are they using single factor? Are they using multi-factor? The key is making sure that everything is up to standard. So obviously multi-factor does have its benefits over single factor, a little bit more secure. So that can be using a key, token, biometric characteristic, anything like that. And then you also want to take a look at, once all of this stuff is provisioned, can any of it be circumvented? So can it be done through the database admin changing permissions, or a regular admin, or tools that'll give you backdoor access to something? All of that should be taken into account when you are looking for separation of duties. The key is make sure everything is buttoned up and that the rights are provisioned properly. So let's take a look at what a role-based access control matrix could look like. So this is just an example. So as you can see, accounts here. So create a new user, set access to a specific portal, financial system. And if you look at the user on the top, the administrator has a good portion of those rights, but they do not have all of them. That's key. So you don't want to give one person the keys to the kingdom. And as you go down the line, you'll see there's a standard user, accountant, broker, salesperson, stuff like that. All of these permissions and abilities should be limited based on a person's job. Like I said, we don't want to give one person the keys to the kingdom. And lastly, I always like to end the presentation on the NIST website. So if you go to the NIST website and look at all of the control families, find AC5, this is what you're going to be looking for. Here at AuditTrails, we like to focus on the moderate baseline. So for satisfaction of AC5, we always like to take a look at that and its enhancements. So for AC5, no enhancements today. We're just going to be looking for these three things: the separating the duties, documenting them, and then defining the authorizations. Thanks for tuning into this